Okay, on this analog discovery thing, when it comes to, using the network analyzer, apparently you need to bring up this stupid time thing so you can adjust the scale, because otherwise this thing doesn't have a clue. It doesn't seem to adjust its own ranges, and it'll give you this wildly inaccurate results if you don't adjust its signal right when you run your deal. Because like I said, here on the oscilloscope, when I'm measuring, I'm clearly getting a gain, of about 130, right? But I kept getting those out of range errors and all this shit. Because this is a little, could have used the other screen, and sort of building this circuit and trying to figure out what's wrong with it, but I was trying to look at what the maximum gain of this little amplifier is here. So, um, you know, as part of this um, little circuit from the Forrest Mims book, that I think this microphone is the wrong kind of microphone or something. But anyways, just trying to see what kind of gain stage, because it's a really sort of a bit of an unusual design. It's almost like it goes transimpedance depending on your setting, but I don't know. It's just kind of looking at it out of curiosity. This does have an offset to it, about 4.5 volts. But again, you know, gain calculations does that, and like on this network analyzer, okay, I don't have that. So let's go ahead and run it and see what it does. See, it keeps giving me that out of range error message, and then it's saying the gain, is only like 16 times. And that's at the same 20 millivolt setting that I'm using there, and the wave I'm generating on my oscilloscope is 20 millivolts too. 1 kilohertz seems to be about the peak point. But but again, the only way I got this to work is by bringing that up. But like I said, on this network analyzer, it ain't working. So let's see. But yeah, you keep getting this out of range error. So let's pull up the time thing and let me show you what it's doing, as I run this. Okay, I can't even see my yellow trace. It's maxed out, and I think that's what it's looking at. So, so let's increase the voltage and let me run it. And let me change it while I'm running it. Okay, now we're starting to see my waveform. And it, keeps restarting the simulation every time. But right now I don't have my gain set high enough, so go up to 100, go up to 200. So yeah, I mean my gain's reading about 130 now. So if I run it again, you can see the waveform over there. All right, and yeah, so the gain, is certainly matching up. As you can see, 130 or so on my cursor, and that's because I can see the full waveform in the screen over here. So that's kind of a little secret of how to use this thing, because I always assumed this thing was going to make adjustments, for the proper waveform, like I have to do manually over on the scope. If it's out of range, my little gain calculator is not going to work very well, if you can't clearly see the waveforms on the scope. So that exact same thing is happening with the network analyzer. So I guess it's always, because I've never actually pulled up the time window before, so but I thought I saw a means of doing that, and so this is a good reason to do it. It's not just for shits and giggles. It's to make sure your shit's getting read right. That's the only way of dealing with this thing. If you're trying to do any kind of analysis of this thing, and you see that little gain error, well, pull up the little time setting. That's what opens this oscilloscope window, and that allows you to make adjustments in the scale, while this thing's running, and you'll get it figured out. So cheers.